Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you are in. This is the Big Girl Diary. Pola Weiss, she gives her declaration, and she just puts it straight out there. She doesn't hold back. So when you look right here, Paula, let's look at number one, and she comes out with it. She just says her name is Paula Weiss, and that the following is true. And she said that she knows Marilyn Manson, Brian Warner in the early 1990s, to where she had come to work for him. Let me get to the other one. I gotta wait a minute. Okay, I'm sorry, I got that straightened out. So she says that she has known Brian Warner or Marilyn Manson ever since the early 1990s. During that time, I knew Manson. She knew him as a social acquaintance, and she was a model, and she had gone by the name of Paula Weiss in her professional name. Now, I have to say this. That's when I learned about Marilyn Manson, was in the early 1990s. He came out like this big... He made a huge splash in the music industry. And there's a lot of rockers, heavy metal, and Marilyn sort of went all over the place within the rock industry. If it was acid rock, metal, heavy metal, and my mother, if you came with these wild shirts on, she would pull out the Bible and start quoting Bible verses, and then she would slam you with the 23rd Psalm. Yes. And she would sit there and recite it while following my brother, he was in a band, and his favorite music was rock. So that's how I learned about Marilyn Manson. Okay, I digress. So that's when she knew him. So let me go to the other. Okay, I got this all over the place. Okay. So here, what number am I on? 3. Okay, in 3, so she says approximately 1996, I was living and working in Los Angeles. I went on a casting call for a music video, and I was cast for the role. When I arrived to the shoot, I was seated next to Marilyn Manson, in hair and makeup. The video was for as long as the video was for his song "Long Hard Road Out of Hell." So so then she knew him before, and now she is in his video, which also gave her additional exposure. But here's the interesting part. She says, we became friendly during the shoot, and thereafter engaged in a romantic relationship for roughly a few months. During this time, I became close to Manson and his band, and we spent time with them at Manson's home in Hollywood. Manson was never physically, emotionally, or sexually abusive towards me, and it's interesting. It's very interesting, because here's this guy. He's like a magnet for beautiful women. Just brings them in, and immediately, when they get into a close proximity of him, hey, nature calls. So she says, during the same period in approximately 1996, I was seeing Manson. I acted in a film by Manson called Groupie. I was approximately 21, 22 years of age at that time. Before the film was shot, Manson and I discussed his burgeoning interest in filmmaking. We discussed his concept for the film and some high level dialogue that he had drafted. The film would be shot at his house. Interesting. We agreed that I would play a crazy fan, the groupie, who found out where Manson lived and was bringing him a piece of art. His bandmate would be at the house when I rang the doorbell. The scene was then to devote all my scary games and truth and dare straight out of the horror film. Only he and I would be in the plot. And a part of the concept was to capture the reactions of the bandmates and other people who were in the house. Interesting. So before, during, and after the film shoot, I knew that it was going to be, I knew what I was doing, and I was totally comfortable with it. I fed on the energy of the shock of the crowd and hammering it up and for the scene, and I felt completely and totally safe during the filming with Manson. I did not feel degraded, humiliated, exploited, or absurd or abused. It was acting and make believe. In fact, I felt like, let me see, do I have all of this? Okay. Yeah, I can't have that. I'm looking at something else to make sure I got all of this. Alright. Okay. Sorry, I have this a little all over the place. Okay. Okay. And into the character and further development, my acting skills, I consider the film to be a professional job. It was a paid job, and the film was a short acclaimed director Joseph Coltrus, and I had seen a documentary of Manson's 1996 tour titled Dead to the World, which was also directed by Coltrus. A short clip of the Groupie film I acted in was used as a documentary, and I was thanked in the credits specifically. A special thanks to Pola Weiss. Any statement I had made, or any statements that I was under the age of 18 at that time, the groupies of the film Groupie depicted consisted of child pornography and abuse, or that I was dead or killed, are unequivocally false. I never had been contacted by Ilma or even Evan Rachel Wood regarding my relationship with Manson. I declare under, and you can see that right there. So I just, oops. Okay. So, I look at this, and there is just a concerted effort to destroy this man, and it's really outrageous. And I look at Evan, and her vengeance is just unmatched. She's using any and everyone to get at him. Now, what I find interesting is that he had a lot of girlfriends, a whole bunch of them, that were just coming through simultaneously, and I guess maybe they were okay with it, but they didn't get the ring. And with that, Evan, she was engaged to him twice and did not get the ring either time. But Lindsay comes, and next thing you know, she not only gets the ring, but she also gets his last name. And then I'm looking at Ilma. I hope she's opening up her eyes. I truly do hope that she is, because she is being beyond used to the point to where she is acting out her girlfriend's whims, and she loves her girlfriend so much to where she's willing to destroy this man, to the point to where she'll do whatever Evan says, because she loves Evan. Ilma's like, okay, I'm going to do this for you, this for you, this for you, but not thinking she was engaged to this man twice, and she's still after this man, and Ilma's showing her love towards her, but it's like, yeah, you're alright, Ilma, but I want to go after him because he left me behind and he has to be punished. And I guess Ilma's like, well, if you need to punish him, I love you and I'll help you do it. I feel bad for Ilma. Please wake up, Ilma. You are standing on the edge of Evan's delusions, in my opinion. On that note, Pola Weiss, and in her declaration, in which she just says, hey, we worked together, had some fun, did a music video, there was a majority of Marilyn Manson's stuff has a kink to it, because him being heavy metal, and yeah, kink to it. I don't know. But on that note, if you like my content, because I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, please help me out. If you like my content, please like, subscribe, put something down there, and I answer everything. And if you don't like it, subscribe, dislike my videos, and tell me why you don't like it, and then we could talk about it. Most of all, I want to thank all my subscribers. Thank you. And thank all of you for stopping by.